Were you actually ordered to do that, or?
Not ordered, told.
Okay.
Told if it's going to bog you down.
Right.
One prisoner, you got to have 5, 6 men to watch.
Right. Okay.
I'll never forget. I might as well tell you the story. My platoon and another platoon, we had a pretty good firefight, and about a week before that, we got shot up pretty good. Anyway, we come down this hall, and we run into a hospital.
Mm-hmm.
And in this hospital was nothing but sick Japs, malaria, gangrene. As I went in the door, nobody shot at me. And I looked around, I come back and I told the company commander on my walkie-talkie, I said, this thing is ridden with guys with gangrene, their feet are blue and they're falling off. And I said, they don't have no weapons, they have nothing. I said, what do you want me to do? He says, clean it up. I said, what do you mean? He says, shoot them. So I ordered my platoon in, they shot them all. But who was going to have it? You handle a guy with gangrene,
Right.
you get gangrene.
Right.
But that's one instance that I remember. That it wasn't a big hospital. Maybe there was 10, 12 guys in there. But they were bad. That's why they left.
Right.
Nobody attended to their wounds, gangrene. It was a shame. You know, I even felt sorry in one way. But then you sit back, and if you're out in the front, and you jap after you're shooting them, and they're shooting at you, hell, you don't think about taking prison.
Okay.
After everything they taught you what they did to ours.
Right.
Look what they did to them in the Philippines.
Yeah.
The old General Wainwright weighed 96 pounds. General.
That's true.
And the people marched from Bataan and Corregidor till they couldn't go no more. When they couldn't go, they shot them.
Right.
It was both sides.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Both sides.
That's true.
I'd say the Japanese were really hated due to that fact.
Right.
Because they wouldn't give in.
Mm-hmm.
That's one thing I give them credit. I don't think they're better soldiers than the Japanese.
Yeah.
He made a pillbox. He made it so good that, by golly, you couldn't see him. He worked on it all the time.
Right.
Where the Americans are lazy, you dug a hole, and if it got hard, you quit.
Right.
I'll never forget, we had a ridge one day, and I never dreaming I'd get artillery or mortar fire, and it was solid rock. Everybody went up there. I said, dig foxholes. They dug little wee mounds, then they're piling dirt up so they could crawl in that little place. We got a barrage of artillery and mortar shells on the ridge. You want to see sparks flying, but we made foxholes in solid rock till you get scared.
Right.
You knew you had to have a hole.
Mm-hmm.
But the Americans kind of lazy.
Right.
Not the Japs. They were good soldiers.
Mm-hmm.
Die hard. Americans, he'd probably want to give up, but not to a Jap. You know, you look what over in Europe, how many Germans gave up and how many Americans. But they didn't take them around the hill and shoot them.
Right.
There was no such thing as Geneva Convention.
Right.
I don't think they even had a prison camp that I know of for Japs.
Mm-hmm.
Because the disgraces they gave up.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So we knew what they did to ours, and all the preaching you got was, like you said, hate.
Right.
Hate.
Right.
They hated one another.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say that it was built in me that they were no good.
Right.
After Pearl Harbor, hell, they were demons.
Right.
Yeah, I agree there.
Mm-hmm.
Any more?
Um.
Let's see what we can do here.
I don't know. Is there anything, if you look at the whole thing, is there anything that really, I don't know, sticks out in your mind as memorable? Maybe something that bothered you, or just something that really, if you just think, you automatically think of that. Is there anything like that?
I told you only one guy.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go to the grave, remember Shelton Vickers.
Okay.
Because he's the first guy, and I laid up there with him for 2 days. We couldn't get him down.
Right.
That guy I remember.
Okay.
I know he lived in Georgia, and I never forgot his name. That's one of the outstanding. The other one, Battle, I don't want to remember.
Right.
But that's the only thing. 'Cause you know why? He's first guy.
Right.
That's he's laying right. He was next to me almost. And I laid up there with him 2 days. I always think of my. I should have went to wrote his family a letter at least. You know, that I liked it. He was a good kid too. So, from Georgia. We had a bunch from Alabama, Georgia. Recruits to Camp Cross, South Carolina. Because the Southern people, they're awful patriotic.
Oh yeah.
Especially World War One. I was surprised how many Southern people were volunteers. And maybe they didn't even get drafted, I don't know.
Right.
But they were good soldiers, all of them. But that I can't forget. You know. The rest of it, the battles and that, they're pretty well out till I went to see that picture with you.
Right.
Then you sort of relive it.
Yeah.
But I did that. I don't have no nightmares no more. When I come home, I try to drown it all out with booze.
Right.
And it leaves. Like I said, I wouldn't want to go back and trace my stuff.
Right.
And then I was reading I think it's $10,000 if they re-sign, you know. And if I was in Iraq, no way. But I'd say, I'll bet you I'd be saved 80% of them people, if they had the choice, would come home. They don't have no choice.
Right.
And most of them reserve did it for a little bit extra money and go to camp for 1 or 2 weeks here, never dreaming they're going to end up in a place like Iraq.
Right.
That's my opinion. And they're married, they have children, and I just can't see it. I don't know. I don't know what we're going to gain over it. Is it going to be another Vienna? It could be. Say all them Arab people over there rebel and start join the Holy War. It just don't make sense. They went over there with nothing. All they know is to get Hussein out of there. Now they're stuck. They're cropping up all over. They're coming from all over in the Middle East. They don't know who's fighting. How many out of Syria? How many out of Saudi Arabia are supposed to like us?
That's true.
We don't know. Government ain't telling you. I don't know. War is hell. That's all I know. A war is hell when you fight it. But once you conquer, there ain't people coming shooting you in the back.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
And that's what's happening over there.
Right. Yeah, like after Germany and Japan surrendered, that was it.
That was
you know,
it.
You don't have this continued aggression and everything.
Aggression.
Right.
That's what scares me.
Right.
And the longer they hold out, it becomes like a little revolutionary war. And you can't walk down the street. Maybe 3/4 of them people are happy. How about the quarter that ain't?
Right. That's true.
And how many people they got out there that Bin Laden can line up and say, this is a holy war, go over there and just harass the heck out, blow up everything. That's mind-boggling.
Oh, yeah.
You don't even know who your enemy is. You're over there trying to be nice. You go down the street and somebody plants a bomb in front of them. Can't see it. I'm glad I'm not there. Because when we conquered something, Jim, it was conquered. You know.
Right.
Even the jungle. It was conquered. Done now? Or you want some more questions?
I just trying to think of anything here. Let's see.
Well, if you think of something, I'm going to chew a little bit.
Okay.
But I sit back and I said, I laughed at myself when I read that they're actually the people enlisting them. They're up, Jim. They can go home.
Oh, yeah.
And they're offering them $10,000 a stay there.
Mhm.
I don't think anybody, your life's worth more than $10,000. You don't know if you're coming back from there.
Yeah, that's true.
And like I said, 90% of them people wish they weren't there, especially the reserve. Not regular army. You have no say so. You signed up for regular army.
Right.
But reserves, most of them reserves did it for the extra little bucks they get out of it and go to camp, you know, and hold maneuvers and stuff like that. But they're over there offering them because once their time is up, they have to give them discharge if they want it.
Mhm.
So I don't know. And I read $10,000. I said, oh, man's life worth more than $10,000. The one guy said, I think $1 million would be about right. I don't know. Oh, President Bush got us in there. I don't know how he's going to get us out. They didn't plan. They didn't plan for all this other stuff. They should have had a government in there already. The more they hold off, the longer they try to stabilize it, the worse it gets.
Mhm.
My opinion. They should have been right in there right away. They should know from the good Arabians over there, the ones that hated Hussein, set up some kind of temporary government.
Right.
Now we're in there, no matter what we do, it's wrong. They hate us.
Mhm.
You know why they hate us? Because we like the Jews.
Yeah.
And they hate the Jews. The Jews and them people fought for thousands and thousands of years.
Yeah, it's
And they wanted to give up right away.
right. Yeah. I don't-
Nobody's saying
that's
that. How come
hard.
the Jews don't have to get rid of their atomic weapons?
Yeah, Israel is one of the most modern militaries in the world.
Who
'Cause
made it?
yeah, we
We-
supply them with
we
everything.
did. Whatever knowledge we got, it went there.
Right.
And
Yeah,
if
it's
you're an
difficult.
Arabian, say you're Arabian. You say, well, hey, the Palestinians, you know,
Mhm.
hey, they kicked us out of here. This was all our ground.
Yeah.
The Jewish never had a country. Moses let them out, and they still didn't get it.
Right.
To Jerusalem, the gifted land.
Mhm.
And the Arabian says that's our country. Ain't the Jewish.
Right.
They didn't get a place till after World War I.
Mhm.
They've been prosecuted. Oh, that's why even the Christians hated them one time,
Oh
Jim.
yeah.
A little bit more. Today they don't talk about them, but the Jew was never liked. Yeah.
That's true. Mhm.
I said back, and I said, holy cut, you hear the old timers talking about the Jews. They'd spit at them. You know? They dealt with them, bought off them,
Right.
because they were gifted people in one way, because they never had to go in a coal mine or factory. They always selling something.
Yeah.
you know.
Business,
Yeah.
doctors, they're
Stores,
always
they had
upper
everything.
class. Yeah.
And that's why Hitler got mad. They controlled all of Germany's money.
Right.
What do you think he killed all of them? Shame.
Mhm.
But he said, get rid of the Jews, we get rid of the bad people in this world. 10 million of them. That's a lot of Jewish people lost their lives. But they've been prosecuted people way back in history. They were even slaves for the Egyptians.
Yeah.
Till Moses took them out of Egypt. I can't see that war. You know, they said someplace in the Bible, I never read it, but someplace in the Bible, I think, Jim, they said that the biggest and the end of the world war will take place in the Middle East.
Yeah.
And it can happen. Today, no, holy mackerel. Everybody starts getting atomic bombs and missiles. There's the poorest country, North Korea, they're starving. Yet they got atomic weapons. India, 1 billion people. China, 1 billion people. Atomic weapons. What's that old communist country over there? Russia? Where's the threat? How about China? India? They're poor. people are starving.
Mhm.
I said back, I said, all it takes some guy like Hitler. Talk quick and
Yeah,
fast, Jim.
it's true. It's dangerous.
Dangerous.
One powerful speaker, and
Yeah.
they can
The
fire
only
up an
thing
entire
Hitler had
nation.
was to gift them out.
Right.
And look what he did. The smartest nation in the world is Germany.
Oh yeah.
They can say what they want to, Jim. They were smart.
Yes. Mhm.
We got the atomic bomb because we stole it.
Right.
It didn't come out of Germany. Germany would have had another 2 years, we'd never beat them. They had them rockets going over to England. They figured they'd never had any invading.
Yeah.
They'd have made rumble out of them, shooting across the channel. They were working on jets, working on atomic bomb. Imagine if Hitler had the atomic bomb.
Yeah.
He
Good-
wouldn't have
It's a
debated
good
dropping
thing.
it.
He didn't realize the potential. He actually, the work was actually stopped on that because he didn't.
Yes.
I don't know why, but he just didn't pursue it. And good thing he didn't, because they would have
Way
made
beyond man's imagination.
made it before us. That's for sure. If they would
We
have.
dropped it, you know.
Right.
We're the only country that dropped
Yeah.
it. And I give him credit. Look how many American soldiers, he said. Look what happened on Iwo Jima and Okinawa.
Oh
Closer they got, Jim,
yeah.
the worse
It
it
would've-
got.
it would've
Imagine
been-
being in Japan.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Worse than Iraq.
Oh yeah. Yeah. That would have been very bad.
Very bad.
Mhm.
I'm glad Truman said drop it. I give him credit.
Yeah, I ended it.
Yeah, that's what
good
sure.
thing.
But it took, they couldn't wise up when they bombed, which one, Nagasaki or Hiroshima?
Hiroshima, yeah.
First. And they held off.
Mhm.
They knew we had the potential.
Right.
They had to drop another one to convince them. More on my soul, been millions and millions of Americans died in Japan.
Oh yeah.
They've been slaughtered. Look, they couldn't get them out of the cave. Even the women and kids that they had up in them caves in Okinawa jumped off the cliffs so they wouldn't be prisoners.
Yeah.
I sit back, I give Truman credit. He seen what was going on in Iwo Jima and I called Okinawa.
Right.
He says, oh my God. He said, we could hit to Japan. Where we go?"
Mhm.
So he dropped. I think that was a good move. Brought the war to an end to her.
Mhm.
Then I read about poor Kennedy down there, the Bay of Pigs, how close we come. Well, say the Russians would have dropped that.
Yeah.
Gee, how can you bargain? There's Pakistan. They don't have nothing here. They got atomic bomb. India. You know who gave it to them? We did. Power plants.
Right.
Till they found out that if you have power plant, you make something else out of that junk.
Mhm.
Oh, I don't have to fight no more, Jim. That's enough. I didn't see what they seen on Normandy.
Oh yeah.
Buddy, when they fought the Germans, Jim, and if they had the upper hand, buddy, you were in trouble. Look at the Battle of the Bulge.
Yeah.
If you come out of that battle,
Yeah. It was
horrible.
really bad.
The Germans, I always said, they were the smartest nation in the world, and I still think they're smart.
Mhm.
Everything that's invented, they're one up on. Like
Yeah.
I said, we had 105 howitzers. They made 155s.
Mhm.
We made 155s and be with them. They made a 188. We made a 188. They made a 240 on railroad track.
Right.
Smart. One up on. And their arms were out of this world. Right to procession, buddy. They didn't break down. Not.
Right.
No wonder it took the world to beat them. The little wee country took the world twice to beat them. And nobody give them credit. I give them credit.
Oh yeah.
You gotta give them credit.
Absolutely.
Thanks United States sitting back here. World War I would have went the other way.
Right.
Oh boy! But the next war is not going to be a war. It's going to be disaster.
Mhm.
We got too much crazy things. They had it in World War One, mustard gas, and half of the soldiers come back were all diseased up. Mustard gas ruined their lungs.
Mhm.
Then nobody used it in World War Two.
No, they all had it too.
Not even a Jap.
No, surprising. I guess it was just so terrible they
So
couldn't do it.
terrible. They said what retaliation is what they were worried about.
Plus, most of the time they end up gassing their own men because the wind, would just blow it back.
Wherever it would blow, it
Yeah.
could kill you.
It was not easy to control, so
Mm-hmm.
I guess that too. So it's a good thing they didn't use it. That's for sure.
It's true.
Mhm.
I don't know. I hope the band sits down someday and wises up, Jim.